Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today we're going to be going over Tesla stock and a little bit of news, but I think today we'll focus mainly on the stock because it's just pain after pain after pain. I did mention yesterday that is Tesla going to crash, is Tesla going to plummet? And I gave you pretty much all the possible scenarios that I think would play out and which ones I think were more likely to play out, etc., etc. So hopefully you found that useful and hopefully that helps you today somehow. But yeah, let's just go over it. Again, as usual, guys, not financial advice, all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. You guys know what it is. Make your own decisions. So, yesterday we were talking about, I deleted the top line, but you guys remember the top line, right? That went from up here to here. I'll just redraw just in case you kind of forgot about it. But we essentially had this little situation that we were playing out more or less, right? With this purple line over here, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was give or take something like this, right? And I was saying how, you know, either Tesla resolves off of this into this, like, I did say it was a wonky bull flag. I did mention that, how it's like, it is kind of a bull flag, but it's also not like the cleanest in the world, in all honesty. I think it was this, might have been this. I forgot. Either way, the point is that, actually, I think it was, never mind. I think it was this one, actually. JK, I lied. I'm pretty sure it was this one, actually. Yeah, I think it was this one. Anyway, the point is that it didn't play out, regardless. And I'm like, if it breaks into the downside off of this purple line here, well, it's going to be pretty ugly. And, well, that's exactly what happened. It held up pretty decently for, you know, a little bit. This was yesterday's move. Ended up, you know, starting the day nicely, all that good stuff, kind of held around this area. You can see on like the 5 minute, right? It tried its best to hold on, you know, bounced off of here. You can see, went down, bounced pretty much directly off of it, came up, tried to hold it, came back in, played around here a bit, and then just plummeted. And the second it broke, you can see how hard it plummeted down. That's usually how these things work. If certain situations like that don't hold up, that in theory should, it becomes pretty bearish and it bleeds hard down. But again, don't forget, the good thing about red days and the good thing about market bleeding down like this is that red days happen faster than green days. So at least we can get it over with hopefully faster. But with that all being said and done, guys, it's looking pretty bearish. So short term, of course, guys, don't forget, if you're an investor in Tesla, you shouldn't even be looking at the damn chart. Who cares what the chart is doing today, tomorrow, next week, next month? Check back in 5 years, 10 years, you'll be rewarded. But if you're someone that's trading Tesla, or if you just enjoy looking at the charts because you're a masochist like myself, well, let's take a look and see what's happening. By the way, in case you're wondering, there are ways to play the downside, guys. It doesn't have to all be just pain and suffering, right? You can buy puts, you can hedge with puts, which is a great thing to do. Ideally, you want to do it on these kind of green spikes and buy some puts after like a massive green rally like this, and then hedge with some puts. What I do personally is I sell calls against my shares. So what I do, for instance, I'll show you guys what I did today twice. So I actually took a nap in the middle of the day, missed this area right here, I think somewhere around here, maybe here, I can't remember. But essentially what I would do is I'd look for these kind of run-ups like this, right? And then what I would do is when I see the RSI is like oversold intraday, what I do is I sell. Actually, no, I did it at the opening of the day. You can see the RSI at the opening of the day was oversold up here. So what I did was I sell calls against my shares. And off of that, you make an insane premium. So for this case, I sold, I believe it was, wait, what? Oh, it like put me down here for some reason. That's weird. So once this day opened up, and it ran up at the very beginning in the open, I sold like, I think 11-15 calls or something like that, weeklies. And pretty much what I do is, you know, I wait until that happens because IV is essentially super juiced up once, you know, it just has like a lot of green rally like this. You sell calls, and then once it cools off, which I'm expecting it to, which it did, you buy it back at like literally half the price, and bam, you just made money on the downside. And you just keep doing that. And then I did it again. Like I slept through this, unfortunately, or else I would have done it there because I was feeling kind of sick. But then I did the same thing here. You know, it ran up like this. I literally sold calls right at this top because the RSI, you can see, entered oversold territory. I sold calls. In this case, I sold it for like 1065 or something like that. And then I bought it back right here for like 20% off. Done. Made money on the downside right there. So it doesn't have to all be bad. You know, you can make money on the downside, guys. You can. It's very important. You just know how to. That's all it really is. But regardless, let's talk about what's going to happen with Tesla. Is it going to crash? Is it going to plummet? Is it going to drop? I think so. I really do. And the reason is because, I mean, it's hard to there's so much red, it feels like, but I really do think there's more red ahead based on this close. We did close at 995, which is not good. I wanted the 1,000 to hold. I did mention that. And I don't want to close below 1,000. Usually when we close below 1,000, it gets pretty bad and pretty ugly. So at the very, very least, I would genuinely be surprised if we do not at least revisit 980. Minimum. Like, I will be legitimately shocked if somewhere around 980, 982, that low 980 level is not revisited. So expect that, in my opinion. So if you have more cash on the side, I would absolutely be waiting for this. Now you can either just be, you know, just kind of buy it and don't look at it, or if you want to trade it and you want to, you know, maybe take the risk, there's a chance that this also breaks, and there's a chance that we drop all the way down to 937 to fill this gap, which I actually wouldn't mind. I actually be really happy with that. I think there's a lot of people waiting for that gap fill, and I think there's going to be an insane amount of buying happening at this gap fill. And even if we come down here, especially if we bounce off intraday and still somehow, like, let's say tomorrow or Friday, let's say for instance, we come down, gap fill, and still close above 980, that's still going to hold up this inverted head and shoulders we have building up right here. You can see right here. Shoulder, head, and we currently have a shoulder here, but even if it drops down to like over here, it's still a shoulder. Like, it's still fine as long as it doesn't drop below this like 880-ish level, which was this low here. As long as it doesn't drop below that, and ideally doesn't drop below like 930-ish, you know, it's still looking like a very good setup, a pretty bullish setup. Unfortunately, it's going to be, you know, a lot more pain ahead, but it will set up a bullish kind of pattern, if you will. So again, those are the things I'm seeing right now. Technically, it's still possible that we just somehow rally back up over 1,000 and return that back into support, and apparently it's like, you know, almost this like 995 close never happened. That is a possibility. I just would put like that at a much lower probability, in my honest opinion. So again, expect downside, guys. Don't be shocked if we revisit 980. Not a bad place, in my opinion, to load up. There is a surprising amount of demand at 980s, so keep that in mind. But again, also would not be surprised to see 940 for this gap fill, 938, 937, somewhere in that general range. I mean, we can look at it. The gap fill is exactly at 938.53. So 938. Would not be surprised to see that as well. But I'm like 99% sure there's going to be like an obscene amount of demand there. Because if it happens, I think it'll happen literally this week, like tomorrow or Friday. Probably Friday, because Fridays are usually pretty bearish days, in my opinion. People take profits into the weekend, and then there's a whole thing happening with Russia, Ukraine, and it's a pretty tough market right now. So I think people will be scared to hold into the weekend. So I wouldn't be surprised if Friday is also like going to be pretty brutal. And maybe that's the day we revisit this section over here. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shocked, right? So just want to make sure you guys are aware. Don't be shocked if Tesla plummets to that level. If you have cash, great time to add, in my opinion, into the earnings rally, which I still think is coming, which I would be very disappointed if it doesn't, because the earnings are going to be a blowout, in my opinion, of course. But that's essentially what I see with Tesla stock, guys. Again, this stupid little bull flag over here is just constantly rejecting us. Did this thing move? I think it moved back. How did it move? I need to lock this thing. I need to lock this real good. So put it like that for now. But yeah, so it's still getting rejected by this, you know, upper trend of the bull flag that we got sucked back into, which isn't great. And this, you can see, is a pretty decent area of supply. So you have to remember that. This right here, this little like box I have, pretty decent area of supply. We've tried to break through it a few times, but we just can't. So this is another area we want to break through. And ideally, once we break through 1115, I think we're back into like bull territory for Tesla. So that's essentially the level, you know, I'm waiting for it to really break, because that's like, okay, we're chilling now. You know what I mean? We're definitely chilling. So first level, guys, 980. Second level, around 940. So keep those levels in mind. Don't be surprised if we revisit them. Get the cash ready. I think it's a beautiful opportunity to buy some extra shares and maybe trade some shares, all that good stuff. But another thing I want to mention quickly, a little bit of news, I guess, is in case you need some copium to help you, you know, through this tough time, of course, in case you're not feeling good about it, whatever. Dan Ives, his Twitter, great Twitter to follow. You know, he's talking about essentially what's happening, right? So he says, in this vacuum of fundamental news that Street will sell off tech/EV stocks on Fed tightening fears on a daily basis, it all comes down to earnings season and guidance to calm the fears. Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Tenable, et cetera, our favorite names. I mean, Tesla, it's the chances of Tesla missing on earnings is like 1%, honestly. Like, I feel like it's going to be an absolute beat, right? I do. And I'm pretty sure everyone is thinking that. Like, there's no way. After those delivery numbers, get the hell out of here. There's no way that's not going to be a beat. It's just impossible, it feels like, unless something catastrophic happens or happened that we're not aware of, right? But other than that, it should be a beat. I still think we're going to have a run up into earnings for Tesla. We have Netflix earnings tomorrow, which could be important just for tech as a whole. So I'm hoping Netflix beats. I think they will, because Netflix has also just honestly sold the hell off, to be completely honest with you. This thing is just in the gutter right now, my goodness. So I really do think they're going to beat, and I think it'll rally back up to like 550. That's just my guess for Netflix. But if Netflix beats and it rallies, it's a good sign for tech, in my opinion. I think that'll be bullish for tech in general. It'll kind of give us like a little bit of hopium, I guess. But either way, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next one. So until then, peace.